Welcome back. Today I wanted to show you how you can mix and match animations between two applications into one project. And you might ask, why would you want to do that? Well, Alice and Scratch are both really cool animation applications, but they both have their limitations. So you might find when you're trying to put together a project that you really would like to have the 3D that Alice offers, but you'd like the flexibility that Scratch gives you to add your own sprites and draw your own backgrounds and all that good stuff that Alice isn't so great at doing. So what I wanted to do is I was going to show you how you can take a picture of an animation that you program in Alice and then import it into Scratch and build a custom loop in there. So you'll see from my screen that I have a carousel, and I got this by going to Add Objects, and I went to the folder called Amusement Park, and I navigated towards the end, and you'll see Class Swings is an option, which is what brought this to my screen editor. I had to reposition it. I moved the camera up using this feature, and then I went to the far right hand side and used a tumble and then moved it up a little bit. So this is where we're at. So you'll see when you select this object, you get a whole bunch of custom animations, which is what makes it pretty cool. So what I've done is done a simple do together, which is bringing down the conditional blocks at the very bottom of your screen, dragging it up here, and then literally dragging and dropping into this do together. So what you'll see is I've got a player that does a pretty neat fluid animation. While this is moving, and it's going to continue to do so in a loop, you'll see there's this take a picture option. So what I would recommend doing is clicking on this at regular intervals and getting at least 6 or 7 pictures. So for example, if you do that, you're going to get something like this. And it's going to go right to your desktop. Click OK. And I would say, it's hard to get into precise sequence, but I would just go ahead and take a couple pictures, and you'll be able to see what they look like and how they position themselves, and you have an idea of what animation you're trying to bring over, so you can use your judgment about what pictures and what order you want to put them in when you build your Scratch loop. But I just want to remind you, this is kind of a pretty powerful feature here. So I've already, for the purposes of this screencast, gone ahead and done this. So I've got 6 or 7 already taken of this, so I'm going to exit out right now. So for all intents and purposes, we're done with the Alice capture right now. And what we're going to do is open up Scratch. And I've got a blank canvas open here. And the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to go to creating a background. And I have my little Scratch guy here, and I want to get rid of him, get him out of the way. So let's do that first. Okay, so what we're going to do is go to Backgrounds, and the first that appears, you want to edit it, otherwise you'll end up with a blank screen. So you're going to hit Import, and you'll see on my desktop one of the captures, and click OK. And what you're going to do is simply then go up to here to the next import and pick the next picture. OK, and you're going to do this for the next series of 6 pictures. So continue to go up to import, and you're going to see I don't really like this capture 3 because it's a little bit too close to the ground, so I'm going to skip that one. I'm going to go right over to capture 4. Click OK. Another import. I'm going to do 5. And again, I'm going to skip around a little bit because I like that I have a couple of in-betweens. So I'm going to skip over to 7 because I like that still kind of getting closer to the ground but not close quite at the ground. And then I'm going to go to 8, and then I'm going to end with 6. So it is sort of a matter of, kind of artistic license. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's something that's going to give you a little bit more 3D and a little bit more fluid animation. Basically, it's stopgap animation that you're adding here in Scratch. So then I'm going to go over to the Scripts tab. Now I've got all these backgrounds. And I'm going to add a basic loop which is when the green flag is clicked. I'm going to do a forever and switch to next background. Now I'm going to show you, this is going to give you something that you might not like. So I'm going to show you what it looks like, then I'm going to show you how to fix it. So yeah, that's a little bit nuts, huh? So to fix that, let's add a weight. And you're going to add a weight at the beginning of your loop and at the end of your loop. And I played around a little bit with this so I can tell you 0.01 is going to give you the best fluid motion for this action, but you can play around with the math on that. Okay, let's test it out again. So, you know, it's not quite as fluid as Alice, but the benefit of Scratch is that you can add sprites and you can add characters in the background and draw them and do a bunch of custom stuff that is actually pretty tricky to do in Alice, and I have found kids really do like that flexibility. So I like also that you can bring in two applications together because it gets kids thinking, oh, in what way could I make this better? And rather than being feeling like you are tied down by the limits of one application, that you can bring the best of both worlds for whatever project you're trying to get done. So until the next time, we will talk later.